Yes, sir. I want to say.
Yeah, good morning and
So,
welcome
sir,
to
now
the Empowering Morning Conversation today. Yeah, Sagar, would you like to say what is Empowering Morning Conversation and why do you come here every day?
okay. Good morning, one and all. Good morning, Ramajan sir. So for me, EMC is really those medicine. Okay, now I have to start my video. Okay, start. Only I will talk now. So for me, it is like medicine, antidote for my for my creative living. If I don't come here, I will be in default mode, like empowering you daily for mood and being in creative mode. So this was thank you.
Thank you, Sagar. So today we can look at vulnerability. So let's explore our thoughts and experiences on vulnerability. So that's the topic today. So what I will do is I will just say a few things, what I collected from experts, and then we can share our own experiences. Yeah, are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Right. So there is one expert who does a lot of research on emotions, all the emotions. Her name is Brené Brown. So she has written a book called Atlas of the Heart, explaining about various emotions. So as per her, the definition of vulnerability is the emotion that we experience during times of uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. So basically, we show up vulnerability when there are uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. Most of us were raised to believe that being vulnerable is being weak. This sets up an unresolvable tension for most of us because we were also raised to be brave. So we think vulnerability is weak, but we know that we have to be brave. So hence we don't show the vulnerability. There is no courage without vulnerability, actually. So courage requires the willingness to lean into uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. So without these things, you cannot be courageous. Unless you are ready to face uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure, you cannot be courageous. It takes discipline and self-awareness to understand what to share and with whom. Vulnerability is not oversharing. It is sharing with the people who are compassionate or earn the right to hear our stories and our experiences. So this is what Brené Brown is saying. So with this is one definition. There could be slightly different definitions as well on what is vulnerability. So her focus on vulnerability is uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. So during that time, we are vulnerable. And just because we are vulnerable, we don't need to go and share our vulnerability to each and everyone. We can share with the people who are really kind, compassionate, who can really receive it without judgments. So that's what we can do during the vulnerable times. Vulnerability is not weakness, it is our greatest measure of courage. This is something invariably people have difficulty in understanding. Vulnerability is weakness or strength. So as she explained here, most of us were raised to believe that being vulnerable is being weak. This sets up an unresolvable tension for most of us because we were also raised to be brave. So there is no courage without vulnerability. Courage requires the willingness to lean into uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. So with that, let's share our thoughts and our experiences on vulnerability. This is one emotion and one area we really hold up and we don't really go deep into it. So it may be a great idea to explore it today. So request all of you to share your own experiences, your own thoughts on vulnerability. Yes, sir, the opening batsman. Yeah. Yes, Predigal.
I just want to clarify.
Yes, sir.
There are two things in this.
Yeah.
One is to people, vulnerability to situations.
Yes.
So that's what
Yeah, it is the same thing. It is the same thing.
No, we attempt these two in a different way.
Okay.
What I mean, in situations created by other people, maybe a business or situation in society, something like that.
Okay.
But vulnerable people is who have got relationship with people.
Okay.
So I feel these two to be dealt separately.
Okay.
That's my thought.
Yeah. Okay. A fair point to start with. So what do you think would be the difference in handling them?
In relationships, you must have vulnerability, sir. It's
Yeah.
To have a good relationship, we must have vulnerability. But in the situations like in business or some, there, we have to take tough decisions. That's what I feel.
Okay. So in there are two parts to this. One is being vulnerable. Second, sharing with vulnerability. Right. So
Yeah.
both are two different steps. So as we saw the definition, vulnerability is the emotion when it comes out is during uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. So in the business, very much we have to take risk. In business, we know that many of them are uncertain. So there we have to be vulnerable. But does it mean that you have to, when you are vulnerable, you have to expose that and share with every employee? No. So even the business vulnerability, you would share with an appropriate person, not to everybody. And the same thing is true with relationships as well. In relationships, there will be uncertainty, there will be risk, there will be emotional exposure, much more. So that, again, you are vulnerable, but that doesn't mean that you have to keep sharing or bursting out or reacting or resisting. You can choose to share it with an appropriate person or set of people. Like, for example, we are sharing it. Many of us are vulnerable and sharing it in EMC, for example, because we know that the people here are not really judging. They are not going to misuse. They are not going to manipulate.
True, sir. True.
So I clearly remember, particularly Abhinav being very, very courageous and vulnerable in sharing some of the things what he shares here. So that's what I would say. The vulnerability in business or the personal life is similar, but sharing need not be immediate or with anybody and everybody. It can be with an appropriate set of people or a person. So that's what I think, sir. See, the other point I want to raise is that you can't be vulnerable in a vacuum, right? Whether it is business, whether it is your own personal life or your own individuality, it is always with respect to the people around, some way or other. The people can be your own close relationships. It can be your business partners. It can be your employees. It can be your friends. It can be any relationship, but it happens within the set of people who are being around. Sometimes it can be yourself. The vulnerability can be within yourself. You can be alone, and there is relationship within yourself as well. So whatever the situation, I think that there are people involved, the relationships involved. Yes. So yeah. Thanks, Reddy Garu. Anybody else would like to share? Mr. Prem Gandhi, would you like to say something about it?
Okay. First, I joined the AMC program.
Is it
I
first time?
like, yes.
Oh, okay. Welcome.
Yes,
Welcome.
First time I joined.
Oh, excellent.
I
Excellent.
know Sukhdeepalji for years. Our same city, city, Sukhdeepalji is Prem Gandhi from Noida, NCR, UP.
Welcome, sir. Welcome to EMC. So we have empowering morning conversation every day in the morning, 7 to 8 India time. So where we explore our situation in terms of our negativities and challenges, anxieties. How do we know?
I watch some episodes.
Okay.
Your AMS program. I like it. I know. But first time I attend, but I know where Ramaji ho gaye, Vetrival, Puren ji, Pooja ji, Sarshna ji, all member I know. Julian, Sagar, I know very well. The program yesterday a link sent to me. Sukhdeep program.
Wow, that's great, sir. So welcome once again. So would you like to say? Yeah. Yes, sir. So would you like to?
All the person is good person. All the member good person. All the member have good experience in life. Useful me for your series in India. All purpose. All I like your program. Very. I like your program.
Great, sir. Thanks for your feedback. It's really great. So we have people attending from across the world. So we have Neelam from the US, we have Shakti from Hong Kong, and normally Kunain Vetrivel joined from Dubai. So that way we really have diverse set of people across the world.
Yeah, I like it. Every members. Thank you, Sukhdeepal ji.
Today he's traveling. He's not able to connect. Yeah.
Okay, no. Next day, Sukhdeepal ji.
Right. Right, sir. Thank you for being here. Welcome. No, we welcome you to be part of it and participate and share. Right. So yeah, if you are okay to share now, explore on vulnerability and share something now, you can do it, or later on. So anytime, whenever you feel like. So with that, I think we'll listen from Sagar what he has to say. Yes, Sagar, go on.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, one and all, sir. Sir,
Good morning.
first, I never know what is vulnerability or what do we vulnerable. I found hard to pronounce this word also. But what I came to know about it, sir, just now is that the person who deserve or the person you have good relationship for quite long, or that to him or her you can be vulnerable, or you can share your experiences or share your things. This much I know now, sir, but I really don't know what it means to be vulnerable, or to be to have this emotion, to what is this vulnerability. But this much I know, to share experiences, or to share what is right, what is wrong to the person who is close to you or who deserve. This much I know, sir. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I know vulnerability. Normally, it is confusing because of what I said already. Like, no, we have to be brave, but people portray vulnerability as weakness. So there is a conflict, and we get confused what to do or not to do with that. So yeah, it's understandable. Let's start from there, Sagar. So Pooja joined just now, just for her. Uh, Pooja, we are talking about vulnerability. Um, so vulnerability is the emotion that we experience during times of uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. And it is a courage, not weakness. So this is what we are discussing today. So what is your thoughts on vulnerability? What are your experiences on vulnerability? Gopal sir, would you like to say something?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
see, af- after a long time, I'm joining after my sickness. Yeah, today is the first day after a long, long time. I missed a couple of sessions, in between. What I feel is, uh, if you know that you are vulnerable, you have been vulnerable, then you will not be vulnerable. It requires a level of consciousness, to be able to discuss that with your close ones.
Yes.
That in this situation, in particular situation, you are vulnerable, and how to overcome this. This is what is happening by coming here, PMC. We know where we went wrong, where we were vulnerable. And like in my experience, I tell you, during this my sickness period, one thing which stood out and which I remembered every day, and a lot of situations made me aware of it, was that there should be no judgment. I mean, your tendency to pass judgment very quickly. And
Yes.
that is what makes you vulnerable. That's what I feel. So immediately I remember that no judgment, accept people as they are, as they are, and that's a
Yeah.
wonderful thing which happened to me. That I practice it. I practiced one thing, and that made me very good. I felt it's a transforming myself, at this age.
Right. Right.
That's what I wish to say.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, if you are in judgment, you cannot be vulnerable as well. So if you are not vulnerable, you cannot handle the situations like uncertain situations, risk, or the over emotional exposure. So those things require vulnerability
Yeah.
to face it and handle it.
Yes. Yes.
So if you are in judgment, we will get stuck there, or we'll react, or we'll get into different mode, anger, or whatever else it is.
Exactly. Exactly.
So at one level, being vulnerable is being open to anything, no, in the situation like uncertain situation or a risky situation, which we need to take in life. So we have to be open at that time instead of getting closed. Or if you are closed, then you will not be able to move forward. When you are open, then you are being vulnerable. So Sagar, just to relate to you what you said, you don't understand what is vulnerability. Is, let's say there is a uncertain environment. So you met a new girl and you want to have relationship with her, and that is one area where you have to be vulnerable, otherwise you close, you don't have the opportunity to really move forward, right? Does it make sense?
Definitely, I came to know more about the vulnerability and be vulnerable, sir.
Vulnerability. Yeah.
One day, what happens, sir? I think Sukhdeepak sir also and my own guru, we have very deep connection with guru and the way mentor, and there is something that is really bothering me, and my guru tell that the thing that bothering me to everybody, every word of hundred of people, thousand of people, I know that. And Sukhdeepak sir also, sometimes here do this being vulnerable, you also be vulnerable here. So now I realize what it means to be vulnerable. I'm really thankful to that he is being vulnerable.
Right. Okay. Yes. Any other thoughts and experiences?
Yeah,
Or some,
please go ahead.
Yes.
yeah,
Pooja.
please, I will, you please, you convey.
No, I just want to say 5 elements of relationship. Vulnerability is the one.
Yes.
That's what I will just remind people. First is honor, trust, gratitude, allowance, and fifth one is vulnerability. That's what I just want to repeat. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So if you remember, Sukhdeepak sir expanded on honor, trust, and honor, trust, and allowance. One topic each day. You remember? And then he covered gratitude and vulnerability another day. So I further expanded on gratitude last time, and this time we are discussing on vulnerability. Yes, Pooja, please go on.
Sir, first I want to read something. This is my, something I noted from somewhere. I was reading something, regarding this.
Yes, yeah.
And that really touched my heart. So I would like to read for all, and then I will come to my point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, please go on.
So this says that we don't want to be vulnerable. We want to be defended. The moment somebody says vulnerability is a virtue, we feel being vulnerable means exposing ourselves to attack. You are attacked only as long as there is something. And when there is something to be attacked, you would always feel attacked or to be attacked. It is not as if the universe is conspiring. It is just that the self that you have built up lives on a diet. It is not as if all the arrows and bullets are aiming. It is just that the armor that you have raised is justified only by bullets. It would look very stupid if we say, I have a when there is no threat or bullets. But because you must have an armor, is only the bullets and guns all around you. Vulnerability doesn't armor and getting hit by the bullets. Remember, the moment the armored bullet also drop. And if you get hit, it is a matter of gratitude. You didn't know that there still exists something within you that could get. You didn't know that you still had weak spots. A situation arose in which you could see that the world still has control over you. There is something within you which is arranged against the world, and that sees the world is arranged against itself. Yes, when you feel offended, when it's a matter of concern, but it is not a matter of concern because somebody hurt you. It's a matter of concern because getting offended or hurt indicates stuff inside you that can get offended or hurt. Look not at the person or situation that hurts you. How it is possible that I'm carrying stuff that is vulnerable to pre-hurt. All we need is to be unwrapped and heated a little. We are ready to be eaten, pre-cooked, pre-salted, roasted. Just water is needed and the hurt becomes apparent. In that sense, all of working bundles of sores, we are like bodies full of wounds and sores. Breeze grazes against us, we feel hurt. What does the breeze have to? You have been walking with all those wounds, all your body and mind. Anything and everything hurts you. Vulnerability is when the world has no objective existence of its own. We do not a separate entity from us. We think that, but the world will remain the same. We think the self and world independently. So we say, what if we become nice? The world is such that nice man cannot survive. We think that even if we become nice, the world would convict place. We have simply not observed well enough, and we have not been on the basis of duality. How can the world remain wicked when you have dropped your vulnerability? Doesn't mean being defenseless against a hostile world. Vulnerability is simply having armors is stupid because there is actually nothing out there. Having you, there is simply nothing out there that is disposed unfavorably against. Vulnerability means relaxation. It means that if you are getting hit deserves to get hit. And what is getting hit is just getting highlighted item that must disappear from your mind. Before the hurt, it is already present in an unmanifested form. Before and hurts you, you have already declared to yourself that you would be hurt. Comes and says something to you. In that sense, you are the one who has first made an enemy of that man. I'm repeating, not one who exposes himself to hurt. The vulnerable man is the one who hurt. Sorry, it was long. It's really touched my heart, so I wanted to convey to everyone.
That's amazing. It's amazing, Pooja. Thank you for reading it out. And I request you to send this if you can. Send it in the WhatsApp group as well.
Yeah. So, sir, for me also, there are situations when we be vulnerable and people judged us and we have that experience that what's the point? I'm sharing my heart, I'm opening my heart, I'm just trying to convey. I want to be in peace and harmony and love, but people are not getting it. So there is something in me. That's the most important point. If some situation happening in relationship or at my workplace or in my hair, there is my hand also in it. I'm holding something which yeah. And if I became free of that, will change, the people will change, or the people might go away. Their next come. So I also, when I was in Landmark and in other, I experienced when they say about completion, and I did that with really difficult people, and I just sent forgiveness and love. I really experienced the change in behavior. They were talking, and I was like in a very very anxiety wala state. इतने सालों बाद, and I'm talking like this, and there is a happy outcome was out of that conversation. Again, it's so many times ki it's work like a mirror. We just need to clean to see the difference around us.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Pooja, for sharing, reading as well as sharing your experience. Sagar, before you start, just one imagery comes to me when you read it, Pooja, is that somebody looks like somebody is throwing a bomb or shooting with bullet or arrow. If I raise my resistance, that's how it looks. But if I am truly vulnerable and do not have that armor or the resistance, ultimately it lands up like a flower on me, right? This is what in the mythical stories we see, right? Somebody gives, puts an arrow and it lands on them as a garland or the flower, right? If you're truly vulnerable, it may land up on us as a flower rather than a bullet. That's the imagery I'm getting. Yes, Sagar, go on.
Before Sagar, can I share one real experience?
Yes, yeah, please.
I was, this is my first time there, and in mess during lunch, I met a very senior sadhak, and he started crying looking at me. He was saying that I recognized you. You are a very pure soul, and he was in tears, like happy tears. And then I met his wife also, that person, and I think he was a advocate or something, and they by choice they were staying there doing their sadhana. He was saying he was seeing his diary. I mean, he just shared with me some notes. He said, "Bacha, I was thinking my wife is like this. She's like this, she's like that. She made my life hell and this and that. But now I got to know that I am having these thoughts or everything within me, so that I am seeing her like that. Gradually, I clean my heart. I just clean my mirror, and what a Devi she is. Everything was inside me. So I was trying to really convey something to her, that you should do this, you should do that. But I have nothing to do. I just only need to clean my mirror and my heart. So that was very powerful experience. Remember that experience.
Yeah. So it is not only that advocate who recognized you, even we also know that you are a Mataji and Guruji kind of person. So we also know.
No, I'm a chota bacha.
She, sir,
Yeah, go on,
that
Sagar.
she's very good Mataji or something. What Poojaji said, I just want to summarize in few sentences. Sorry to say to Poojaji like this, but you are very sweet. I did not listen so many things because I was interpreting so many things in my head. oh, whatever Poojaji is saying, I know this, so I was laughing, but whatever you said is so true. One book from Osho, and he's in the book Tantric something. Okay, now here I don't want to pronounce the word. It may be not good. So what he said in that book is that if somebody makes you anger, somebody makes you jealous, somebody makes you, means that is already within yourself. It's not because of that person angry, not because of that person you get happy. The anger, the happiness, everything is just inside you, and that person just touch it. He is not responsible. It is already within you. So I think everything whatever we are facing is inside us, not outside. So we care for our emotions and for our feelings. It's us. And so this much I want to say. There that is already within us. Not that they are making us, because anger is within us. That why anger coming out. This much I want to say.
Yes, yes, Sagar, thank you.
Good morning, Rama sir.
Good morning, Major sir. Please go on.
My take on vulnerability is vulnerability, intimacy, and intimacy grows or closeness with. By being vulnerable, you might end up being broken-hearted, bravest among us, because it is only this broken-hearted who dared to love. And being vulnerable is another way of being beautiful, because you're showing up, seeing, and standing up. You're open, you're allowing yourself to be, and feeling vulnerable is absolutely perfect. It is not about winning or losing. It is having the courage to show up even when you can't control the vulnerability. It's your own choice, and vulnerable sounds like truth and feels like courage. Truth and courage are not always, but they are never a weakness. So don't worry about being vulnerable. So what makes you beautiful? When you just think, no, when you're open to suggestion, you're ready to be heard. You're ready to accept some advices also. You and there is strength in vulnerability, in facing your desires, knowing that kindness is more important than all your. To be vulnerable is always to be brave, because you're opening up. You're ready to face anybody. It gives you the courage to withstand the onslaught of life.
Thank you, Major sir. It's really great the way you put it. So you said vulnerability feels like truth and feels like courage. Is it? Can you repeat that sentence, please?
Which one?
Truth and courage. Vulnerability feels like truth and courage.
Vulnerability appears to be true,
Appears.
and it is not. It's another way of truth and courage are never weakness.
Right.
Vulnerability,
So that's
So
really great. Yeah, that's really great. Yeah, go on, sir.
So when do you feel vulnerable? When you're open, when you feel people are giving you just stand in the open, you're vulnerable. You stand exposed. You go to cliff top. You feel all directions. You're open. You're open to the wind. You're open to the elements of nature also, which means in one way you're transparent. You're exposing yourself. It may be good. That means you have the courage, and this courage is never a sign of weakness. That is truth. So truth and courage can never be, can never go on. It can't be interpreted as a weakness.
Absolutely.
Being vulnerable is quite beautiful.
Yeah. So in fact, courage is the way to face the truth or know the truth. Without courage, we cannot know the truth. So that way, I think what you said is really beautiful. Vulnerability appears like truth and feels like courage. Thank you, Major sir. Yes, Abhinavji.
Yeah, good morning. My video is off because where I am right now is see, I've been hearing about I started in my journey of transformation. When I was in college, going to be 55 this year. I never understood vulnerability. The coach always spoke about be vulnerable, and I never I got it. Thanks to all of you sharing. Not only I got it at the level of my level of nation also, how a nation behaves when it doesn't want to be vulnerable. And I got present, there whenever I don't well, are the times when I don't want to get hurt, I don't want to fail, I don't want people to dominate me, are the times when I'm not vulnerable. And when I'm vulnerable are the times when I can actually bring bridges with the people, those connected with the people. Those are the when I'm vulnerable are the times when there is a possibility of living a life of possibilities, living a life of uh, satisfaction, of performance, living a life of transformation. Vulnerable, and then yes, they have been, and even lady who spoke in the beginning before actually the course started, she spoke about uh, the right husband. It's like and I got present too. I have some areas of my life as well. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to fail. If things don't work out, or what all those aunties and all those uncles will say, "Kuch kabhi thi." Something wrong. So there were times when I had a brilliant business idea. I didn't go for the business idea because I was scared that it fails, and then what will happen? Then all the world will look at me and say failure, 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 failure. And maybe I missed out on a chance of making a huge difference. Maybe giving employment to 100 people. I missed out on all those chances. So all of you that, and thanks Rama to you for taking up this topic today, vulnerability. Even as a country, we are scared of vulnerable. हमने तो भाई China, and they attacked us in 62. So after, I think we lost our vulnerability after that 1960. We want to be very strong. We want हर एक को हरा दे. Like people talk about we will defeat America also. सब लोग तलवार लेके पहुंच जाएंगे, बंदूक लेके पहुंच जाएंगे. We lost our vulnerability, I think, after 1962. But say we should be weak, but let's be present with that we are not vulnerable. We can't make with many countries as well. So I got it. Vulnerability as a family, vulnerability as a country. Thanks.
Thank you, Abhinavji. As usual, you are really, you are vulnerable, and you share your vulnerability in the appropriate forum or the people. So even if you have not understood what is vulnerability, you have been always vulnerable. That's the that's what I understood. Thank you for sharing all of this. Yes, Sagar, go on.
Thank you, sir, for this good conversation. Sir, is there any limitation of being vulnerable? Sir, is there? This is the point from this share, or I cannot say. Means, is there any limitation of sir? Or is that it does not have any limitation, vulnerable. So
Are you asking being
is-
vulnerable is a problem or it is a limitation for anything?
sir, it's not a problem for sure, but other person is there, and if I think we have to think of limitation, sir. That doesn't mean that we overflow with the emotion and we just say everything we want. But is there any limitation, sir? Because person and they may get hot, or that will be the out of limitation. Is there any limitation for this?
No, there is no limitation. It is possible that in the name of being vulnerable, if you get into other emotions like fear or worry, then there is a problem. But if you are truly vulnerable, you are also courageous, right? You are open and courageous to face the situation and to move forward in life or move forward in that situation. So you will, there is no limitation on vulnerability. And also we discussed that just because you are vulnerable, you don't need to go and share it with everybody, right? You can be vulnerable to the situation, vulnerable to the relationship, but people may not know whether you are vulnerable or not. But sharing that vulnerability need not be with each and everybody. So choose where to share the vulnerability. That's it. Otherwise, there is no limitation.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right. Thank you, sir. Yes. So anybody else?
Then is there relation also, sir, that can we be vulnerable to ourselves, or is there?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. In fact, that is where it starts. In fact, many a times it may be difficult for being vulnerable to ourselves, right? We ourselves create some kind of resistance to look at, am I being vulnerable? Right? That is the first step. Being vulnerable to yourself and sharing it within yourself. That is the starting point, actually. Many a times we create wall or create resistance within ourselves. We don't want to recognize that we are vulnerable.
Yes, many times
Yeah, yes, Pooja.
we, if we, that I'm very bold, if we have this image that I'm always right, then you will not be vulnerable.
Yes.
So at times, just in our circle, say they assume or they perceive us very bold person, and we have faced so many times. They feel like that we are very much masculine energy. I'm a very rough, tough kind of person. So truly know us. So I mean, we cannot. We need to make that. Can't go and share each and everything with each and everyone, right? Build that relationship or build that space and connection so that you can share. Other person also gets it. Otherwise, the most difficult family members, because we feel that we will be judged,
Yes.
or they feel us weak, or if we really show our true picture, what we are. So, but that's the best part, if we share our true picture with our close family members, so that they understand, they can really support also, and they really heal. We are truly vulnerable and being honest, and we have our that we just want love, peace, harmony, and best for everyone. So they get this. When we are in judgmental mode and when we are, they will not understand what's the point of talking, what's the point of, and so it's our conversation. It's not out there. In everything we are creating. So we created them also. There was a course, a communication course, and there was a song like I created you, created me, created you. So we always keep on creating. It became so strong like a wall after a period of time, and we just want to save ourselves. So the wall we need to drop first so that other can enter and express their love.
Yeah,
Wow.
thank you, Pooja. So,
Thank you,
Sagar,
thank you.
the self-judgment will not allow you to be vulnerable to yourself.
Yes, yes, sir.
And also, no, Reddy Garu said, these are the 5 elements of intimate relationships. And all these 5 elements of intimate relationships, which are honor, trust, gratitude, allowance, and vulnerability, have to be first demonstrated within ourselves. So we have to have the intimate relationship with ourselves first, or not first, parallelly.
Right. Yes, sir. So true. I'm having problem, with not with other now. Now, not that I have some struggle with other people. Relationship is uh not so strong with myself. I'm bombarding with myself. Whatever I want, I only do. How to maintain good relationship with myself, sir.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
I can maintain good other, being pleasing, being very nice, laughing. But with myself, I'm happy. Most of the time, I'm really happy. But sometimes I have not good relationship with myself, and I judge myself. I overdo. So many things are, how to have good relationship with myself or being more vulnerable or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you are in judgment, either self-judgment, you cannot be demonstrating all the 5 elements within yourself. If you're judging others, again, it's difficult to demonstrate all those 5 elements of intimate relationship. Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Sagar. Thank you, Pooja. Yes, Priya, please go on. Yes, Priya. Little bit more. Can you bring your mic closer, please? No, very feeble.
Now is it clear?
Continue. Let's see. Very feeble. No, Priya, we are not able to hear you.
Okay.
What's happening? Your mic is not good, or what happened suddenly?
I don't know. I'm saying it loud, but
Yeah, continue. Let's see.
I was asking how to choose whom to share our vulnerable.
Yes. Whom to share? You can share with a person whom you trust, who you believe that, who is kind and who is compassionate and who do not judge you. So that is the kind of person you can share with.
But then there's a question whom to trust.
No, I couldn't hear you.
I'll give you a call this process.
No, Priya. Where are you? Are you in the house or bus?
No, I'm at home
Okay, not able to hear you. Is it only my problem? Whether others are able to hear?
No, I'm also not able to hear him.
Okay. So Priya,
Same
do
here.
something about, is it network connectivity or is it because of mic problem? I don't know what is it. Okay, anyway, check it out. Whatever the questions you further have, we can discuss, or you can send it in a message also. Right. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Priya. You please come back again. Mr. Prem Gandhi, would you like to say something?
No, I
Because you are in two devices, there is an echo.
well, I stop.
Okay.
First I check that.
Right. So anyone else? So it would be great to hear from others as well. Shakti, Ashokji, Milanji, Asinaji, Saminaji, all of you. Yeah, yes, Sagar, while they are thinking, please go ahead.
So, I think, in your talk, I enjoy myself much more than in other talk. I am not judging but self more here with you and in your talk and when you organize, because one thing is that you allow good point, if Sukdeepak sir is there, I could not speak like you will just stop me saying some good knowledge. You just stop me, but here, you just listen and you allow. I'm really thankful to you, sir. I'm really sorry. I really enjoy having convert in May 1st, sir. I will come, sir. Universe will bring me there to Bangalore. Good bar session, and anybody can join to the bars. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome to the boss sessions, Sagar. Thank you. Yes, sir. Reddy Garu.
My suggestion to accept yourself as you are. Don't judge. What's your problem? Thank you.
And Sagar, we all do this. Actually, we forget about our self work and taking care of others. So we all have this tendency. You are not something like, and what kind of relationship we have with, we demonstrate the same with others. Let's say if I'm being very critical about my mistake, will be very critical towards other also. I will be like perfectionist. So what I can dissolve within me, the same will automatically get dissolved out. So that's I experience that if I'm fighting in my head, fighting outside also, because my mind is not in peace. And when I'm peaceful, and so whatever big drama happening, I will be cool, calm, composed. So it's a state and our relationship with ourselves. So we are basically what kind of energy we are in, what kind of space we are in, what kind of harmony we are inside, that automatically gets so first, that's why they say that love yourself. So but I was not really to love, but through meditation and I started really understand hard on ourselves. So just have a good relationship with self. So that's the first. so that wherever you go, you be that Sagar.
Poojaji, you look very, very, you have really innocent wisdom and really touching wisdom, so true. The relationship with myself, I am exposing. I cannot blame anybody. Previously, when I used to come here and sorry, that my father do this, he stopped me. He did at that time, but I never feel good. But now I never judge my father. Now is my time not to judge myself and. But if I smoke every day, it's not good for my health. Yeah, it's not good for my health if I smoke every day. So here, how to I'm just relating other thing. I don't smoke or something, but beats. So how to quit? It's not good for my health. How to do this?
Now,
It's my question.
For everything, the basic thing is awareness, Sahar. So if you are aware, then things will change. So attention, awareness.
So, sir, how to be aware, so all the time, sometimes I overdo, sir, and basically oh, everything because I just want to release from myself, I just want I do overdo, sir. So at that time, what to do, how to be aware, how I want to forget myself. That's you know I want to release some kind of heat,
Right. Whatever, journaling is one of the way. Whatever is coming to your mind, write it down. So that you will see that only few things making sense and rest all, at least it is from your system. And the physical activity which you actually do. So whenever you are or frustrated, do something physical that it will release your energy and play. You are aware already of it. And place also matters. See, with the company of few people, you get this kind of stress and you go to catch the cues. I mean, which with which people I am just getting the urge of smoking. You can note down really, just like Rama sir said, that being aware things, what kind of emotion, what kind of thoughts triggering that in you. So to handle that. So you need not to beat yourself. You, I mean, when you start feeling like smoking, you can eat also. That also gives you pleasure or calm your mind. So you can just.
Yes, thank you. I never thought of this. I always do what I know. I never thought, there can be other. Thank you. I will try. I will write. I will write. I will journal. Thank you.
Yeah. So further on awareness, Sagar. So because of your unconsciousness and some emotional attachment, you may do something which you don't want to do, right? So at that time, the awareness doesn't come. But after it is done,
Right.
then you will realize, oh, I should not have done this. Why did I do? Right? So that is awareness. So normally the
Yes.
awareness comes after the fact, after you finished with whatever it is. So that's okay. So when you get that awareness, reflect on that and also journal it like Pooja said. So this is a starting point. So when you are able to be aware after the fact every time, then slowly the awareness will come just before you do it. You don't want to do it, but just before you do it, there will be some kind of awareness, but still you cannot stop it. You will go and do it. That's okay. Right? then if you start practicing, every time just before you do it, which you don't want to do, there will be some kind of awareness or question mark, right? If you continue to practice, then the awareness will come much earlier than the thing what you want to do. Then you can stop it.
So it is kind of default mode also, sir. Yes.
Correct.
Sir.
Correct.
If I become unconscious, means that is default mode. Yes, sir.
Yes, correct. That's okay. That's
I
okay.
realize every time.
So you be in allowance with yourself and identify after the fact also, after the what you are done, which you don't want to do, then slowly it will come. So you can bring it back slowly.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Right. So anybody else has anything else to say? Otherwise, we can conclude today's session. Yeah, Asinaji, you want to say something?
No, sir, nothing.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I hope you are well. Yesterday you
Rama.
could join. Is it because you are not well or what? Or you are on mute? You are on mute. Asinaji, unmute and
Yeah, yesterday, the day before yesterday, the whole night, yes, from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning. So there was no way I
Raman,
yes, sir. Ashokji, please go on. Thanks, Asinaji. Yeah. Yes,
wanted to
Ashok.
say something to Sagar for a lighter mode.
Yes, sir.
Sagar, giving up smoking is very easy. I given up many times.
Happy to see you, sir.
So with that lighter
But
note,
it was
thank you, sir. Thank you. So with that lighter note, let's close the session today and let's all come back. Namaste, Namaste ji.
Oh, Sagar, mom is there.
Yeah.
Namaste, auntie ji. We are happy to see.
Her name is Sangeeta Acharya. I love you all.
Namaste. सागर ने बहुत है.
My mother and my father is here. My mother and my.
Hello, namaste, namaste.
Very sweet.
Yeah, nice seeing you.
See.
So you have a great son, Sagar.
Sir, we all are happy to see you here. Please join you.
Yes. So Sagar, we are inviting your parents also to join EMC.
I like them to do bar session someday, when I become bar session.
Yeah, sure.
So have you given bars to your?
Yeah, I like to do. I want to do.
Once he
My
learns, then
parents.
he will do it.
Now he's in learning process. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Great.
Gautam, yeah, thanks, Sagar, introducing your parents.
Thank you.
Shobji, we love to listen from you.
अभी सब कुछ बाकी के सब खत्म हो गए क्या? हमको सिंधी लगा रही है, मुझे तो कुछ भी नहीं है.
Shobji, most natural and person in this group.
Yes.
Most experience is a wrong word.
Man of wisdom will be the right word, sir. Ashok sir. Man of word.
Yes, the grace and wisdom and the purity we can see on.
I think you must be seeing in your mirror, not me.
Yes, exactly.
बॉम्बे के जो बॉम्बे में Mumbai and grown up in Mumbai are the most chalu people in the world. So
they know which mask to wear where. So this is the EMC mask to wear. 11:30 बजे आ जाइए, मैं दिखा देता हूँ। हसीना जी को पूछ, चाय मस्ती सेंटर में आ जाइए, नाम भी चाय मस्ती सेंटर है, वहाँ आ जाइए, मास्क उतार के काम करते हैं, यू विल लव दैट।
4 बजे होता है ना मस्ती सेंटर?
हाँ, yeah, 3 to we meet 3:30 to
3:30 to 5:30.
Yeah. आ जाइए कभी भी।
So Ashok ji,
Get a certificate.
you are as young as Sagar and as humorous as Vetri as well.
Much more younger than me, sir. I can.
नहीं. So again you are vulnerable.
Sir, I like to be vulnerable to you. You know, sir, I find some similar to you, very much similar to you.
But again coming back to smoking, I used to smoke when I joined the job, and to show that I'm big or I'm a senior, I used to have a pipe, etc. Age is 22, as if I'm 28, 29, 30, and I am senior.
Yes, sir.
And was about 10 annas per 20 cigarettes. That was the cheapest, with the cheapest. So we switched over to Gold Flake, which was 2 rupees one, so that my smoking will go down. But it continued for maybe 10, 15 years. And then one day in the evening, when we Gymkhana after dinner, my son took out the cigarette and told me, Dad, to smoke from now. And that was the end of my smoking. I am not thereafter at all. And never ever failed also to touch it. So joining EMC, when I analyze that, I find that I don't want to do. The reason why I didn't touch the cigarette was I did not want to do this. His son loses trust with father. I think the life would have been much. And so many decisions happen on the spur of the moment, and in consequences, we stick to our decision and we are successful. I don't miss smoke.
Wow, sir, what a great insight and experience you shared, sir, with me, sir.
So you tell your father to sit and say that, son, you are not going to smoke anymore, or you get married and have a decide which one is quicker.
Easier, very faster.
Sir, you know, I like to come Bombay or Mumbai.
Yeah, you come any day. Use at least 200, no? So don't worry.
Oh God. I'm coming on May 1st, sir, in Bangalore. Maybe if I have lots of money time, I will come there also.
No, actually come in second week of June,
Okay.
because many sweet faces, they need umbrella.
Yeah,
So
yes.
you can
yes,
share.
sir.
So you can
Yeah.
share.
June and July, okay, sir. You know, I'll come. You know, I like to come in. I like to, sir. You know, I want to talk with you in private, sir. So we can make plan and